Hello, guys, and welcome to the Global Gaming Podcast. We are without the Mundo this week, but I am being the host for this week. I am, of course, Oliver Bisping. Before I announce our two guests with us here today, I will say what our two sponsors are for this week. We do have 100% Raw, which is the Mundo's show here on Global Gaming, and, of course, GWF. We'll talk a little bit more about those later on. But first, we got here a man that was with us last week, our Intercontinental Champion, Austin Woodward.
Thank you for having me this week.
It's great to have you. And, of course, adding with us this week, our GWF World Heavyweight Champion, Danny Six.
Yeah, that's right. I'm here to grace you with my presence.
Oh, well, you took a normal.
Hey,
It's how I speak.
To be fair, I didn't even notice him come in. I went Austin in, and then all of a sudden Danny Six was behind me, so I don't know.
I was expecting some sort of robot kind of dark voice kind of thing from Danny.
That's what you could be
Stupid
expecting.
idiots.
Well, you do actually sound like Tim Price. Do you guys talk a lot?
And they must.
No, he's a stupid idiot as well. He stole that
you have
from
the
me.
same kind of catchphrase.
Well, he stole it from me.
Well, another thing we're going to talk about here, though, in the background here, we're going to be doing a Royal Rumble. And now, you see here is all the people that are going to be in it. And I'm just going to accept that. And we do have a podcast championship. You will see them holding that up at the end. All right, we will be starting that up, though. Now, we're going to get started here. And, well, let's talk about one thing, of course, that is very close in our minds here with us GWF superstars. WrestleMania, not too long ago. All of us champions.
Yep, all of us champions.
One of us gained that championship at WrestleMania. Again, their big WrestleMania moment, even going through an injury with the back. How would you like to talk to us about that, Austin?
Yeah, WrestleMania, it was my first WrestleMania of my career because, it's a special moment for me. I felt like, going into it, there was a lot of nerves, but obviously the injury during the match, obviously I got pushed off the ladder and my back sort of kind of caved in on the ropes, but I fought through it. I climbed that ladder and I became your new GWF Intercontinental Champion, and it's probably one of my proudest moments of my career so far.
Yeah, definitely a very proud moment, having that WrestleMania moment, gaining the championship. And, of course, we also got with us our Raw Heavyweight Champion here, Danny Six. Many people, using the darkness to help you. Some people saying you didn't need it. Some people saying you did. Would you like to line us a little bit on that here, Danny?
I didn't need it at all. It was just about sending a message. I had Lesnar beat so easily. I was dominating. And I thought, you know what? Let's send a message that the darkness ain't going to be messed with. And we beat down, and we abused Lesnar till he couldn't do anything. And it was just easy pickings.
Yeah, just easy pickings. Of course, if you guys didn't see WrestleMania, of course, you guys can watch it on our network. Our YouTube is right there, Global Gaming YT, and of course you will be watching this on our YouTube as it is there exclusively. As well, coming out here first is Edge for the first ever Royal Rumble for the podcast championship. But with that being said, though, I mean, many people very shocked. The Beast Incarnate fell short into what the darkness is whole there. Of course, first Kevin King came out on an attack, but Brock Lesnar was able to come back and fight through it, even putting Kevin King through the Hell in a Cell. Many people thought it was indestructible, but King went right through it thanks to, Brock Lesnar been climbed to the top. Just as Lesnar was about to continue the onslaught into Kevin King, right into the darkness's land there, going against Zadland there, and right into a tombstone, pretty much right through the cage.
It's all part of a plan. It was all part of a plan. Lesnar thought he had it in hand, yet he didn't.
Yeah, that he did not. And, coming out next year in this Royal Rumble, we do see a new Christian look here of Dr. Tom, of course, the doctor of ring postitis. And well, let's see what him and Paul Heyman will be able to do and see if he can pass Brock Lesnar. And well, I would definitely say that this man could possibly be a contender for maybe your championship down the line here, Danny.
Potential contender one day, but just because you're a contender doesn't mean you can beat me. That's just the sad truth of it. I can't be beat.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah, very true. And of course, we do have for Raw is now being announced right here on November 6th. We will be having a November to Remember for Raw's off-season show. And of course, and then right down the line, SmackDown will be having their own private show. They will be announcing it on their own terms, their day and such like that. And well, Austin, are you kidding now? Like, wait for that to happen?
Yeah, I can't wait. The doctors do say I'll be able to heal up just before we do our off-season shows. Obviously, I'm still hurting at the moment, but having my Intercontinental Championship beside me makes it all a bit more better for me, for my recovery. But I'm looking forward to the shows in the off-season, and then looking forward to Season 2 to get on the way.
Get on the way. And of course, we did have some recent releases, and of course, before we talk about those releases, we are going to talk quickly. We do have a new show coming, well, a new brand, I should say, coming to GWF. We do have Total Divas making the win. The Divas are really trying to make a revolution here, going into their own brand, saying they do not need to be a part of NXT. They want to be their own brand and really rethink what people think about, well, I guess I could say woman or divas wrestling here. And well, what do you guys think about that, the new show coming in?
Oh, I think it could be a good moment for the women. As I say, maybe, who knows? Maybe I could see a potential recruit down there for the Darkness.
You could very well indeed. And well,
Didn't sound creepy at all.
Well, what do you have to say about this new, well, Total Divas show?
I think it's pretty good. You know, because the women last year were just exclusive to NXT, and I felt that kind of contained them in a way. Now they have their own show, they can have more people, more women express their talents, and that's just going to be good for the company as a whole, so I'm very looking forward to it.
Yeah, I cannot wait for that show, of course. And with a new show, does come with new signings, but releases as well, as Wayward Viper, Orton, and Kimberly White have been released. They will not be continuing on with GWF going into Season 2. Would you say some sad missings here?
I would. I could say so. I mean, I heard backstage stuff about both of them, and don't know if I really care about either of them. They were never Darkness candidates, or whatever.
I mean, it's not really about being Darkness candidates. It's about being the best in this company. It's not really just about, being, example, the Darkness stable. It's about being the best that you can be. And these two were great athletes, but they weren't determined to be the best like other people were in this company. And that's evident by also some of the others being released also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very evident indeed, as we had no releases from Raw, so thankfully me and Danny, we still have the same competition with some new signings will be going in. We'll talk about those new signings after we talk about the releasings. But with SmackDown, William Regal, Harvey Beats, and Francis, all to make their disappearance here. I mean, the men, they used to be the men, William Regal and Harvey Beats. They separated, trying to find some fame.
Didn't really work out.
Didn't work out. They got released. Maybe if Harvey Beats worked more than 20%, he might have made his way in.
Yeah, but also I kind of, because William Regal's last match for GWF was against me, and it was for the spot at the ladder match of WrestleMania, so I kind of feel responsible for his release. Because if he beat me, he would have got that spot at WrestleMania. Yeah. But I am honoured to be, his last opponent in GWF, and I hope he does very well. And I'll try to stay in contact with him.
Yeah,
But you could have been released. That's the thing you have to realise.
I mean, Regal's been here a while, hasn't he? Let's be honest.
He's one of the few people I actually respect.
You've got to give respect to William Regal for his age, and to still go out there and do what he does is massively impressive. So, being in the ring with him, because I lost the 2 nights before to him at the pay-per-view, and then I won against him to get into the ladder match. And working with him was a really good time because he gave me a lot of advice. He helped me out with, for example, when I'm talking to the crowd or whatever, which we'll be doing a lot, hopefully, this season. He gave me a lot of pointers, so I have massive amount of respect for Regal. And Harvey Beach as well, because he is one of those unsung heroes in wrestling.
Yeah, one of the unsung heroes that worked at 20%. You did hit on it. I did hear we will be getting more mic time, and a lot more interesting things will be happening in GWF going on into this season. If you've seen season 1 and you thought it was amazing, it's about to get glorious for season 2.
Oh, I had to say glorious.
But
see you nature.
Good old cheap plugs there.
I would definitely have to say though, a sad release thing though. Francis, he, I should say, because didn't get the surgery yet, wasn't able to get the surgery, so didn't raise up the money, which is one sad thing. But after the New Gate really went into a different direction.
Yeah.
And unfortunate for Francis, that direction, including no longer with Francis, as Dr. Tom has been eliminated in our Royal Rumble. Very unfortunate to see Francis go. Really, a long time in the wrestling scene, of course, starting back all the way in NSW.
Yeah.
Will not be making his return. I mean, what do you guys got to say about Francis? Of course, like I said, one of the greatest managers, some people would say.
Yeah, I'd love to say that. I think Francis, I don't think he was really given a shot in GWF, but, he's had a long managerial career. Maybe outside of GWF he can maybe accomplish some things on his own. Maybe he can find a new sort of career or something to help the business out. So I wish him the best. I've talked to him only once or twice in the last year, and he seems like an okay guy.
Yeah, seems like an okay guy indeed. And really, we talked about some of the releases. Let's talk about some of the signings here. Some of the really big ones here. NXT. Some people were saying they had a dying tag team division. Now, really trying to really one-up themselves here for next season, getting a tag team with the Revival and Blake and Murphy, and also getting some singles guys in there as well as Apollo Crews and Hideo Itami.
I will say, on the Revival's point, I mean, I saw them back in, the GWF Performance Center earlier. I like those two. They are vicious, they're mean, and I think they're going to take the NXT tag division by storm.
Yeah, they may take them by storm indeed. Well, Austin, what are your thoughts on these new signings for NXT?
I mean, I like all of them. I think I talked to Apollo Crews quite quickly actually today. I've seen videos of him on the indie scene. He is very good at what he does. Dawson and Dash seem like a very good tag team. Same with Blake and Murphy, Hideo Itami. I don't really speak his language, but he seems like an okay guy. And I'm looking forward to season 2 because these guys could very well be the future of GWF, as NXT tends to prove every single week.
Yeah, and of course, as I talked about some of the signings of NXT, I can't look over the releases, of course. Brother Visa, Luke Benward, and the Viking have all been released from GWF. It's sad to see some of these guys go. Brother Visa, I would say, really revolutionized what it was like in GWF. I mean, just this crazy atmosphere that he had about him. Sad to see him go, but with the win with Maz at TakeOver the End, It had to be the end for Brother Visa, and he will not be deleting the system.
No, he won't. Well, yeah, I watched NXT, and yeah, he had an idea to revolutionize the place to, well, destroy NXT. I mean, I'm all about destruction, and, well, I could see where his plan was going, but in the end, all he did was fail.
All it did was fail. Wasn't able to get up. Brody Wee seemed to have been too much for the Visa villains. And, well, Dana, I also gotta go back to you here on this one. Luke Benward. I would say definitely that's someone that would have been on your mind for maybe the Darkness. He definitely fit that gimmick perfectly. He had, I believe he was the leader of the Flock back in NSW.
He could have been a great member, but don't forget that he had issues with my good friend Zadlan, with a man I consider a brother in Zadlan, and, well, we'll have to see what he can do elsewhere. But yes, he could have been a great addition had the, well, water gone under the bridge. We could have resolved things.
Yeah, the water did not go under the bridge. It was released on NXT area before, and really, some would say this might be a shocker. I would say a force to be reckoned with when you're inside the ring. The Viking released. I mean, that has to have been a big shocker. Again, someone with such great power and strength like the Viking, to see him go on to the indie scene, maybe he'll, bet on himself here and maybe go somewhere else and maybe make a big name of himself elsewhere.
Yeah, he can try and find some sort of success outside of GWF. I think he was quite hyped up, but never really delivered on that hype. For example, someone like Trey Savage this year, he's proven that he can be a monster. Viking, on the other hand, hasn't really hit the heights. Maybe someone else he can sort of try and find some sort of success, and maybe one day come back.
Yeah, maybe one day, maybe try to find success elsewhere and make his way back in. And what we also got here with Raw's new signings, they had no releases as of yet, but they did get some signings here. They got a team when they were in the indie scene going by the name of the Bushwhackers, and also Curtis Axel to sign with Raw. And I'm being told that they might not be staying as Bushwhackers going into season 2.
Is that true?
Well, I'm pretty sure, from my knowledge, they did have a different name at some point, and not only the Bushwhackers, they have gone under a different name, but we'll have to see what they become.
And what, Austin, you were about to say something there?
I'm saying, is that true?
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing from the back, that they've been wanting to really reinvent themselves here, and that they said that GWF is the perfect opportunity to try and reinvent themselves, and we'll see how that's going to go. And maybe we'll even see them at the November 6th, of course, the November to remember.
Very good. I think this off season is quite exciting. I think it's one of the most exciting off seasons, in a while. Not just in in pro wrestling in general. I think there's a lot of stuff that can go on in the next few months until December, when we kick off season 2. Maybe a few title matches could go on here and there, and it could change the whole landscape of season 2, even from this point on. And it's really exciting when you think about it.
It is definitely very exciting. And of course, he's getting a great singles competitor, a man like Curtis Axel, in a company that not many people really overlook, For Water Wrestling. He was also, I believe he was also in NSW at one point beforehand, but didn't really make much flame there. But in For Water Wrestling, he became a 3-time TV champion, really found his way into the singles competition there. Let's see if he can really get back into that good mold that he had while he was in For the Water and continue that here in GWF, or maybe even have an even greater stride from the indie scene, making his way in and maybe going after you, Danny, down the line.
He can come after me all he wants, but I do remember him back from FWW. I mean, I spent a short amount of time in there. Curtis wants to come after me. All he's going to feel in the end is pain.
Very interesting. Well, this is going to be it for our talking about GWF. Unless if you guys got some last few things you want to talk about GWF before we move on.
Just want to say that I'm looking forward to the next season, and whether I'll be Intercontinental Champion from here on out, or if I have something else planned till the end of next season, I will be the vocal point of SmackDown.
Let's see if that's going to
Wow.
see if that's going to be the case indeed. Danny, your final thoughts here before we move on?
Well, season 2 is going to continue to be my season. I'll continue to be world champion. No one's going to stop me. It doesn't matter who new signings you get. They won't stop me. It's that simple.
Well, let's see if that's going to be the way it's going to be. And, well, of course, me, Oliver Bisping, one half of the tag team champions. Of course, glorious domination. And I'm going to make sure to do my best that season 2 stays absolutely glorious. And, well, as we are going to be moving on into our next section here, I do have a little bit of an ad read to read here about my great partner, the Mundo's show, of course, 100% Raw. That is the number one place if you want to hear somebody will have like great conversations, like talking about what's been going on with things like 2K. If you want to see great unboxings like of the Xbox One S, which he has done, that is his second one, and his first one, the WWE 2K17 NXT Edition, and well, that was absolutely glorious. I hope you guys do check that out. That is, of course, on our network, of course, the Global Gaming YT, where you guys are watching this podcast right now. As we're going to continue on here, we're going to be talking a little bit about WWE and other indie promotions here. We're going to talk about one of the big topics right now, which some people are saying, yes, controversy creates cash, but this might be just ruining this one competitor, Paige, recently proposed to Alberto El Patron.
Just like 24 hours ago.
Yeah, not even 24 hours ago, guys. These guys 5 months into this relationship. Paige,
yeah, pretty much
proposing. I mean, Austin, what are your thoughts on this?
I mean, I'm happy for them, because if that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do. It's just Alberto currently going through a divorce at the moment, so, and plus there's a huge age difference, but age doesn't really matter, really. But, and I've seen reports just not actually that long ago before we started this that Paige's father isn't too pleased with it. Those are reports, obviously, so they might not be true, but, we'll see what happens. And it does seem like that Paige will get fired from WWE quite soon, to be honest.
Well, she's
Pretty damn crazy.
Yeah, she's still got the 60 days.
Because it's her house.
It's her house indeed. She's still got those 60 days left of her current suspension, and after that, I believe she will probably get another drug test in which she will probably just, try and fail that one again, so she just gets that termination since she just can't be released due to how long her contract is. I believe it's like 10 years or something, so they can't just release her. So she's just taking that way out. I mean, if that's the way you want to get out, you want to burn your bridge with WWE, fine, that's how you're going to do it. But I don't know if it's why is this the business decision, I would say, for Paige and Alberto Patron.
Yeah, it's like, the only way to get fired is you do a lot of drugs.
Yeah, that's one way to get
It
fired.
is pretty damned crazy.
Yeah, pretty dang crazy indeed. And well, this is one question I've been thinking about recently. Now, we both know AJ Styles, John Cena, they're both 39, both very old, but both made their way to WWE very differently. Now, I want to know is, do you guys think that if AJ Styles and John Cena were reversed, and it was John Cena who made it the way through the independent scene, but it was still like the giant babyface that he always was, like still is with the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and AJ Styles was straight through WWE, straight from the beginning, didn't go to TNA, didn't become the star of TNA, which is to say John Cena did that, and for the sake of with GWF, that it was the Mundo and John Cena, World Tag Team Champions, longest reigning with NSW. Do you guys think that it would be like the exact same thing that's going on with them? Like, would you think AJ would still pretty much be like the John Cena? Like, even if he was like a babyface, he would be getting booed because he's the 15-time world champion. No one wants to see him beat Ric Flair's stuff. And John Cena would be the one getting praised because he came through the indie scene.
That's a very interesting point thinking about it.
I don't think so.
You don't
I think, well, AJ Styles is 10 times more, exciting in the ring.
Mm. Yeah, it's just like one of those things you gotta think about because Cena, he got his break very early on. You would have to say he made his way to Outlaw Wrestling. Vince loved him. He made his way.
Yeah.
15-time world champion, and I know you guys don't want to hear it, but he's gonna be at least tying Ric Flair's record. And
No doubt. It's going to happen.
Unless if he gets some sort of injury that he can't compete anymore, it's going to happen. And I think he's either going to tie it or break it at WrestleMania. It's just going to happen in one of those things that are going to happen at WrestleMania.
Probably.
They're probably going to have him break it because they want to build a something of him being the greatest of all time.
Yeah, that means they got to find a way to get him to really tie it. But right now, John Cena, he is a part-timer now. He is taking time off from WWE again. He is doing the TV show that he was part of, like the American Grit, or it was something along those lines of the name.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to be doing that. So he's going to be burgering off of WWE for a little bit, where AJ Styles continue on as the champion. And many people are saying that AJ will be staying the champion, but in the future, John Cena will be taking the belt off him in the future. But for now, he's going to be staying the champion until he comes back after, of course, his TV show that he's doing.
So, around, near the New Year, probably, then.
Yeah, near the New Year. Probably near, maybe the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, most probably, because, that's, Royal Rumble with SmackDown and Raw pay-per-view, isn't it?
It is indeed.
Yeah, so that might be where Cena might beat Styles. Because I don't expect Styles to hold it till WrestleMania. As good as he is, as I think, as world champion, he most probably won't hold it to WrestleMania.
Yeah, it's funny that you talk about this. I mean, I've been reading a WWE Legends book right now. And it's crazy to me that back in those days, people held championships for years. Like Bruno Sammartino, 7 years. Bob Backlund right behind him, 6 years. It's just crazy to me that.
Do you want to hear the longest?
Yeah, someone has 13 years or something, right? But it wasn't
I'm pretty sure. I can't remember which woman it is, but I'm pretty sure hers was 25 years.
Yeah,
as women's champion.
That is absolutely crazy. I mean, it's funny when you think about that because nowadays, most people barely would ever hold it for a year.
But some people don't even hold it for a full 24 hours. Hello, Zack Ryder. How you doing?
yeah, it's Mania moment. Let's hope you don't follow the same with your Intercontinental Championship.
I mean, I've held it more than a day.
Yeah, but
that is true.
I'm talking about in the sense of the next time you defend it, immediately lose it. Even if
that's
it wasn't
a good
the
point.
next day.
I mean, I'll probably defend it during the off season.
Probably will. But yeah, it's definitely crazy to me. Like people hold championships for that long back in the day, but nowadays they barely even hold it for that long. I mean, because
there is a reason.
I mean,
they weren't competing as much back then. They weren't doing competing near enough 365 days a year. Competing near enough every single day of the year.
Yeah, it's definitely very true. I mean, it's just, I don't know. To me, that's just still just crazy to me that happened. Right now, the longest reigning right now is the New Day, right? With the tag.
Yeah.
Even that one, people are thinking, all right, when are they going to lose it?
Well, they're probably going to beat Demolition's reign because apparently Demolition have... I don't really want to. Well, I want to swear, but I don't want to.
Just try
they peed him off. I think they did that to WWE, burned bridges, and now WWE a bit like, yeah, we're gonna have a New Day beat your reign.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the New Day. One of the best things going right now in WWE. But I mean, really, like making them have it this long. Many people thought that the club were gonna take it off them.
I thought they were going to take it at SummerSlam.
Yeah, they were gonna take them at SummerSlam, but they didn't. And another thing that's been going on that many people are wondering when it's gonna happen. Chris Jericho. He's actually stayed around for a lot longer than people have been thinking that he was gonna stay. A lot of people thought he was gonna be leaving at WrestleMania. Many thought he was gonna leave at this pay-per-view. Many was gonna leave after this pay-per-view. He's just not leaving. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like this run. He's doing very well, but I mean, it's just funny that people are still just speculating when is he gonna leave.
Maybe I'm expecting him to feud with Kevin Owens in the coming months because they've already hinted at it.
Yeah, I definitely could see that going on. I know the original plans at Hell in a Cell was supposed to be Kevin Owens, I believe it's Seth Rollins and Jericho were supposed to be the main event. It was supposed to be a triple threat main event, no Hell in a Cell. That was what it was supposed to be, but they decided to change their mind because they didn't want the women's and the United States title to look better because they're having Hell in a Cell matches and not the world title.
But also, you got to think, remember, the original plan was Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, and Chris Jericho.
Mm-hmm.
That was the original plan.
Yeah, but of course, injuries do happen.
I
mean, you got to keep your gold. Finn Balor didn't.
I mean, I only hurt my back. He broke his arm. Well, Seth broke his arm.
Dislocated his arm.
Yeah. I mean, that's just... it's just crazy with that stuff kind of happening. And, well, right now, Danny, it looks like you're going to be taking out Dash here in the Royal Rumble here.
How can you do that to the new signee?
Because I'm the best.
Yeah, you're the best indeed, of course. But, I mean, talking about that, though, I mean, right now, let's talk about a little bit more in it. Like, I guess I could kind of consider this the indie scene. TNA. They are just running into trouble after trouble after trouble. At first, many people thought Billy Corgan, he was going to be the savior. He's going to take over the company. He's going to do this, do that. So now he's still in the company. Then...
Yep, all thanks to Dixie Carter.
Yeah, Dixie just... It's just crazy to me. She's just ruining it. And then WWE loses interest, apparently, to their video library. Then they're getting sued. Something about their taxes with Tennessee. They were getting sued about. Well, it wasn't sued. It was a different word for it.
But they owe like God, I don't know how much it is, but it's like 2.5 million to several different companies.
Yeah, something like that. It's just absolutely crazy. I mean, in this one group I was seeing, like, this one person like did like research and stuff and saying like, though granted, right now Dixie Carter, her net worth is 200 million. And that's without TNA. So many people are saying like, she's probably going into her money, trying to help pay off these debts for TNA, but it's just like absolutely crazy that they're getting in this amount of debt as they are. I mean, at this rate, I don't feel like TNA is going to be a company much longer. They are, don't get me wrong, they're putting on amazing shows. It's not because their shows are bad and the fans don't want to see it. It's because the money problems are just too much.
Yeah, and as of in having so many money problems, and gotta wonder how they're gonna save themselves if they are. I mean, and if that happens, where are people gonna go? Where is Broken Matt Hardy gonna go? Where's Brother Nero, the Decay, like Drew Galloway? They're all gonna go back to WWE.
Well, if they're accepted, some of them won't be accepted into WWE.
I mean, they accept EC3.
Yeah, they might accept EC3. Of course, Derek Bateman back in his NXT days really, put a bet on himself, went to TNA, one of the biggest stars there.
As I said, it might take Drew Galloway back, knowing how much of a star he is.
Yeah, knowing how much star he is, but there is one problem from right now. He's injured. He's out for I believe it was a couple of months. He's out, so that's a little bit bad for him that he's getting injured now, right when TNA could possibly be dying. Maybe not. Who knows? I mean, personally, I like TNA. I like the shows they've been putting on. And Broken Matt Hardy is like the number one thing going in WWE. Well, not WWE. Sorry, in wrestling that isn't WWE. It's the number one thing. And that's hard to really say not to. When in WWE, there's the weak chants going on during WWE's shows.
Yeah.
Like, that's just absolutely crazy. I mean, like how over that character got. I mean, some people are thinking that they're overdoing it with like how much outside of like wrestling stuff they're doing. That they're saying that they should do it a little bit less. They should make like special events, like because if they don't, it might just be a little like oversaturated, and it might just be too much, and it's like, oh, well, what are they gonna do now? And they're gonna eventually run out of ideas.
Could happen, but I think they're doing great at the moment.
Oh, they're doing absolutely amazing right now. I mean, and I think one of the great things that Matt Hardy is doing is kayfabe. He is living it to the absolute T. There's not one single video I've ever seen of him out there, whether he's doing an interview somewhere where it's just like a video of him having fun with Cody Rhodes. He is not out of character. I think that's doing wonders for him right now, because it just works for him. Because like, I don't know, it's just crazy with how well he's been doing. Like, many people would think Jeff Hardy might have been the star of the Hardy Boys. Now it's Matt Hardy.
Yeah, Jeff Hardy was the star. No, he's not. And if Austin Woodward is still here, if you want to say a word on it.
Yeah.
I'm still here. I personally don't watch a lot of TNA. I watched a bit of Bound to Glory. I think like the first hour and a half. I don't really keep up with it. I'm keeping up obviously with the whole suing and the potential end of TNA. I do agree that Matt Hardy is like fucking amazing, to be honest.
Keep those swearing words down. But yeah, he is definitely one of the best things going right now in wrestling right now, and that's why WWE even have expressed interest that they want Matt Hardy now back in WWE, because they love this new broken persona. He's just, as he would say, it's wonderful, and it's been working out for him so well. I just hope TNA finds the way to continue going, because they've been putting on good shows. The creative has been just right. I don't know. I just hope they do well. I mean, I don't watch other companies. I don't only watch TNA and WWE. I don't watch people like Ring of Honor or New Japan. I haven't watched any of their shows. I haven't even got on with Lucha Underground. I know they've been doing amazing shows. I just haven't been able to watch them. Do either of you guys watch Lucha Underground?
I watched like a bit of the first season. Like, I watched like a match. I think there's a few matchups, like the Great Pentagon Junior versus Vampiro match, but that's about it.
Yeah, I know Rey Mysterio's down there now. Is Sexy Star still the champion?
I don't think she's there. I think Sexy Star's not wrestling anymore. I think she's going into actual boxing.
Oh, really?
But at the time, I think she's still Gift of the Gods champion.
Okay. Yeah, because I know she got some...
I haven't kept up to date with it. I have been watching... I've watched pretty much all of season 2, pretty much.
Yeah.
You know, I think I kind of missed a few episodes, but I caught up. And I watched the first 2 episodes of this season, and I kind of need to catch up with all the latest ones. I still think it's really good. I think Lucha Underground is probably my third favourite promotion to watch. I think I only really watch 3. I watch WWE, WCPW, and Lucha Underground from time to time. But it's really good for, you know, the style they have.
Yeah, I don't really watch WCPW. Would you like to outline us like some stuff that's going on down there that you really enjoy? What's going on?
Well, we just We actually all just watched the Loaded episode a couple of days ago,
Yeah, of
and it
course
was
that's on the network right now.
yeah, you can watch it in full, and it was a good show. I think at the moment it does feel kind of cluttered at the moment with tons of different storylines. You have Pacitti turning heel. You've got Joseph Connors as the champion. You've got Prospect pretending to be luchadors. I'm looking forward to going to the show in November in London because I bought tickets for that, and I'm very excited to go there because they announced today actually that the main event of it will be Will Ospreay versus Martin Kirby again.
Oh, that should be good.
Yes, and their first match was really good, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I don't really watch WCPW. I'll admit that I don't watch it, but one of the things I do like, was one of the wrestlers. I don't know if he's still there. Joe Hendry.
No, he's still there. He just had a match with Kurt Angle at Refuse to Lose.
Yeah, I love Joe Hendry. He's one of my favorite indie stars right now.
Yeah.
I personally don't think he'll make it to WWE because I don't think they might allow what he does with like his music. I don't know if they like on a national level, because I think they need to like buy some sort of rights to the songs that he's parodying to like the Dudums. I don't think they want to spend the money on doing that though. I don't know if like they do need to do that or not. I'm just speculating this, of course, because I know like in a lot of stuff, if you use like music or something from somebody, you have to like buy some rights to it, or you have to do something about it. Especially if like it's on a national stand, like of course with YouTube and stuff like that. And I'm sure WWE would be no different. As a little bit of a glitch there, but yeah, this is crazy to me. Like he's able to do like all that music. I've actually listened to some of his regular music, like before he went into wrestling. I actually enjoyed some of it.
Yeah, it's Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry's very, very entertaining. He's quite good in the ring as well. He's not the best worker, but he does a good job.
Like to be honest, I think he's like one of those gimmicks. Like people say, like when your gimmick is so over, you don't need a belt. I think he's one of those people.
Yeah, I could see that.
I kind of agree with that. I do think he's kind of like, in terms of just solely WCPW, I think if he stays with them for a couple of months, I think he can be their world champion. Because I think he has that sort of charisma, and I also think he has that sort of, the fans are behind him for sure, just with his gimmick alone. So I think that he can be the world champion in the coming months. So I'm looking forward to see what they actually do with him as well.
Yeah, well, as looking on to this Royal Rumble, I will admit I have not been keeping up with the people here. All the people could be out, they could not be out here. But right now we got Tyler Breeze, Dolph Ziggler, Bray Wyatt, Alberto Del Rio, and Yuri Watson all in there, trying to become the first ever podcast champion right now. And well, guys, I mean, if you guys want to see great wrestling shows, of course, check out all of our shows that are on here. I mean, this is one of the main things that we are all about. Of course, GWF, the Global Wrestling Federation, is just amazing shows. Catch up all of season 1, because right before you know it, season 2 right around the corner, and you do not want to be behind on GWF, as now with like AJ Styles just eliminated Bray Wyatt. It's just some of the great superstars, and of course we already talked a little bit about GWF, some new signings, some new releases, and of course you also got to mention though November 6th, of course, the first Raw exclusive, and I believe it will be the only Raw exclusive off-season show, which will be a November to Remember. And I am being told now that the United States Championship will actually be headlining that one. So it'll be very interesting to see.
Wow.
They're going to be giving Danny the off-season off, and they're going to let Morgan Wolf headline that one. So let's see if he can defend his United States Championship that night.
He's almost held it for nearly a full year.
Yeah.
He's held it for a whole season.
Yeah, he's held it from day one. He's held that gold really from the very first Raw, main event of the first Raw, United States Championship. And well, it's been absolutely crazy with Morgan Wolf. And from the look of this does look to be the final 3 people. I'm assuming so. There could be more coming in, but so we might be closing down this podcast very soon. So with that also being said, and let's go a little bit into a little bit of the more other sides of the sports spectrum, besides of course the wrestling spectrum that we mainly all know here. Let's talk about a little bit of what's going on and like let's say football. What's going on with Manchester United?
Okay, so before the podcast, we had our big match against Liverpool, and ended 0-0. Okay. So doesn't really help Manchester United right now.
Doesn't hurt them though.
Doesn't, yeah. Oh wait, Tyler Breeze just won the Royal Rumble.
I think he did. Yeah, it definitely.
But yeah,
Manchester. Indeed.
Yeah, Manchester United needed the win tonight, and they didn't get it. And Liverpool drew, but they weren't the best. We were the better team, but in the end, we kind of needed the win.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
And well, it is very. I would say it's very funny here, as the man with the good looks, Tyler Breeze, is the winner of the podcast championship. Of course, we are completely an audio podcast, so it's very funny that a good-looking guy won.
Very, 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 very much so.
Yeah, very ironic indeed here. But well, guys, the final bell has been rung. That is telling us that we need to close out this podcast here. I'm going to go to you first here, Austin. What were some of your final thoughts here on this podcast? Of course, a little bit different than the way we did it last week.
Yeah, quite different. Mundo's absent was felt, but I still think the podcast was pretty good. We talked about GWF, we talked about the upcoming season, we talked about other stuff, and I'm very looking forward to, especially next season, obviously my first championship in GWF, the nice Intercontinental Championship here. I'm looking forward to defending it for the first time in the coming weeks, and I'm looking forward to season 2 very much so. Looking forward to all the shows, so make sure you guys watching at home, make sure to catch all the shows of season 1 until season 2.
And of course, make sure to catch all the shows indeed. And of course, we are very saddened that the Mundo couldn't make it here. Of course, this week he was very ill. I'm sure he'll be fine by the time for the SmackDown exclusive, of course, and pay-per-view that they're gonna have for the offseason. And of course, I'm sure he'll be back for next week, where he'll continue on his hosting duties. Where did Danny go?
I am here. What?
Oh, well, if you look here, Tyler Breeze, or podcast champion. As I was saying before, very ironic that the good-looking guy gets the audio podcast championship here.
Ironic, but why do I care? It's a title that means nothing. It's not like my great GWF World Heavyweight Championship.
I mean, it's nice and white. It's my Intercontinental Championship.
Well, it's definitely a great championship indeed. It may be getting some tweaks as we go on more into the season if this continues to stay on. But for now, the champion of the week, Tyler Breeze. Let's see if he will be able to continue and retain that next week. But Danny, your final thoughts here on the podcast here today?
Well, start off I say this, but I did have some fun here, talking with fellow champions, but, well, watch out for Season 2, because I can assure you, I'll be keeping the GWF World Heavyweight title, the darkness rule Raw as usual. There's nobody that can stop us.
Let's see if that is going to be the case indeed. And, well, guys, I was your host for this week. I'm sure the Mundo will be back to continue on the hosting duties for next week. He said he had a lot of questions asked for next week. He said he was gonna have them for this week. I said, you want me to say him? No, he wants to save him for next week. So I can't wait to see what he's gonna ask and what we're gonna be talking about next week. I'm sure it's gonna be absolutely glorious as always. And with that being said, I would like to thank, of course, our sponsors, of course, the 100% Raw and GWF for helping us get this podcast going and staying around. But with that being said, that is going to be the end of the second Global Gaming Podcast. Would you guys like to say goodbye?
Goodbye, friends.
Ta-ta!
Alright, guys. See you next week.